The objective of this lesson is to be able to express likes and dislikes using the verb gustar. The verb gustar has a special structure in Spanish. Usually, Spanish sentences start with a subject followed by a verb. These are some examples. Yo bailo mucho. Tú cantas muy bien. Nosotros caminamos en el parque. So here we have our subject and our conjugated form of the verb. With a few exceptions, when using gustar, the sentence starts with an indirect object followed by the third person singular or plural and what it is that you like. These are the indirect objects in Spanish: me, te, le, nos, os, les. To me, to you, to him or her, or to you if you're being formal, to us, to you if you're being informal, and you would use this in Spain, to them, or to you, all of you, plural. All right, let's start by looking at this sentence. Me gusta comer pizza. Remember that the definition of gustar is to be pleasing to. This sentence literally translates to eat pizza is pleasing to me. But since we don't talk like that, we just translate it as I like to eat pizza. Now we can use these tags before indirect object pronouns. Here's what I mean. I can emphasize that I like to eat pizza by saying, a mí me gusta comer pizza. Here are some other tags. A ti, a él, a ella, a usted, a nosotros o a nosotras, a vosotros o a vosotras, a ellos, a ellas, a ustedes. Remember, once you identify a person, you need to put the a before the name or pronoun. Example, Laura likes to eat pizza too. A Laura le gusta comer pizza también. Tags are used to emphasize and identify. So if there's any confusion about who we're talking about, we can certainly put in the a él, a ella, a usted, or any of these, or we can use them for emphasis. All right, so far we have talked about gustar when it's used with an infinitive. Nos gusta jugar al béisbol. We like to play baseball, or to play baseball is pleasing to us. They like to go to the movies, or you all like to go to the movies. And here's one with os, our plural you familiar. Os gusta mirar la tele. You guys like to watch TV. All right, so far we've just used these with infinitives. Me gusta hablar español, for an example. Me gusta cantar, me gusta bailar, right? So it's pretty easy. It's been the right indefinite, indirect object pronoun with the gusta is all we've used with the infinitive. But there are more things that are pleasing to us than just actions. So for me, me gusta el chocolate. I like chocolate. So chocolate here is a noun. So we're going to need to use the definite article before the noun. And then what we're really saying is chocolate is pleasing to me. And so gusta actually agrees with this, with the noun. Now I also like shoes. Me gustan los zapatos. Okay, so since this is plural, zapatos, we need a plural definite article. And then we have to change gustar to the third person plural so that it will match its subject, because los zapatos are really the subject of the sentence. All right, so here's what it looks like side by side. I like the apple. Me gusta la manzana. I like the apples, or I like apples in general. Me gustan las manzanas. All right, what if we don't like something? If we don't like something, we can say no me gusta. So you put the no before the indirect object pronoun. Or no me gustan if the subject is plural. All right, let's talk about también and tampoco. All right, so this means also, like I like that too. And tampoco means I don't like that either, or me neither. So when you use también and tampoco with gustar, you're basically saying me too or me neither. So if this was a conversation I was having with Jimena, and I said, me gusta Tom Brady, and if Jimena likes Tom Brady as well, she would say, a mí también. She would not say yo también. Okay, here when you're working with gustar, a mí también, because Tom Brady is pleasing to her as well. Now I'm having a conversation with Zach, I might say, no me gusta Peyton Manning. And if he doesn't like Peyton Manning either, he would say, a mí tampoco. All right, there are other forms of gustar. I mean, it has a complete conjugation, but we very rarely use the other forms. But certainly you can say something like, me gustas tú, which means, I like you. And the reason we'd have gustas is because tú is the subject. Us, les gustamos. In other words, nosotros, if you want to. Because the subject of the sentence is nosotros. But again, I don't want to cause you too much confusion because this is rare. So most of the time you're going to be using gusta and gustan. This is tricky. We need to practice a lot to get you feeling comfortable with this. Be sure you've taken good notes. Come to class with questions. I'm sure you must have some. And do the questions assigned with this video. Buena suerte.